okay, into the General So's. And what do you get out of it? Well, some big fat checks from the Communist Party of China. Read the article. They detail everything. Fat checks donated from Fang. Fang placed staff in Eric Swalwell's office. Fang was obsessed with Eric Swalwell's staff, or so he thought. Eric Swalwell rocking a solid, probably a solid 3, or And when you're when you look like Eric Swalwell, when you rip ass on national television, which he did, by the way. I mean, I think it's funny because you forget that these kind of things happened in real life.
That
Eric Swalwell, literally did this.
Cheat an election.
Okay.
And the complaint that I've heard from
so if you can't control your flatulence like that, and if you just look like you've been like a meat puppet, right? And you've been hit in the head with a meat tenderizer a couple times, and this hot Asian, rich lady that's younger than you takes a huge liking to you. It's a spy, all right? It's a spy. If the barista at Starbucks writes my name with a little heart, then I'm like, it's a spy. It's a spy. Get away. I gotta get out of that Starbucks. Gotta go. You gotta be smart, man. This is the show that brought you Tim Burchett saying that the deep state will put you naked in a hotel room and you'll wake up, booze, pills, naked women all around you, and then your career's over, man. Look what they did to Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham's walking around Disneyland with a bubble wand. That's how compromised that guy is. Be smart. She's not in. Okay, bro, she's not into you. So stupid. That's so funny. It's for real, though. Lindsey Graham literally won her. The government shut down. They can't pass the SAVE Act. Lindsey Graham is now calling for literal World War III. There's no number of people that he doesn't wish to have die, in the sand pits of the Middle East. And here he is, the perfect iconoclast photo of our leadership, standing with a bubble wand at Disney. He's a 70-year-old, single, unmarried, childless man wobbling around Disney with a bubble wand. This is your American leadership class, ladies and gentlemen. Eric Swalwell, perfect fit for this. The reason why this is important is that he's running for governor of California, and odds are he's going to be the Democrat nominee. As far as I can see, and there's a lot of polls out there, he's polling the best that there is for the Democrats in California. It is a absolute cluster F. If Kamala Harris had run, I mean, it pains me to say so, but if Kamala Harris had run, then she would have gotten this. Kamala Harris didn't run. And so Eric Swalwell is now set to become the governor, or at the very least, the Democrat governor. Thank you, Klein. Man, you're killing it. You're killing it today, dude. You're just killing it today, bro. But yeah, this is kind of stable. Am I wrong, Klein? This is kind of stable. These are kind of the numbers. Steve Hilton was banging on about how he's got 20% now. We love Steve. We love Sheriff Bianco. And Swalwell, sort of dragging up a humiliating Democrat bench, but it's California, right? This is what it is. He's probably going to be the nominee. Yo. So it's, yeah. Okay. So do we have a poly market? Is that Swalwell right there in the blue? Yeah. I mean, this is what the betting odds look like. So it looks like Swalwell's going to get it. So this is a critically important question. When you have California that already has plenty of Chinese in it and plenty of Chinese influence, remember, Gavin Newsom cleaned up San Francisco, got rid of all the homeless people. It was spotless. Decline is a choice. As soon as Xi Jinping, his real master, came to town. California already has a problem with Chinese compromise. It's obviously one of the closest states to China. It's on the seaboard, right? Pacific seaboard. And you're going to put a guy who's compromised by the Chinese Communist Party in charge of that state? Hell no. It's time for everybody to learn what there is to learn about Eric Swalwell. Back to the left-wing media article. Here's the Axios article. It details in a demonstrable and empirical fashion how Eric Swalwell was totally and completely compromised by this Chinese spy, how she placed staff inside of his office. So she placed spies in his congressional office. There's classified material there. There's classified information. They were effectively using him as a cutout. And then when he was made a mark, when they found out that she was doing an influence operation here. And by the way, she was banging a bunch of other politicians. It wasn't just Swalwell. Swalwell was Eskimoing it with like a ton of other sloppy Democrat politicians from all over the country. She was getting around, right? The FBI put a mark on her, brought in Swalwell, said, yo, this is a Chinese spy. Well, allegedly, according to our friend, Sean Davis, Swalwell helped her escape. You know, it's a funny little thing that we've been noticing, and don't pretend to be high IQ, okay? We didn't go to the Ivy Leagues. We barely got into state college, right? I went to community college. I was raised in a soybean field, in cornfield in Iowa. Hog farms was where I got most of my learning. And so, again, I'm never going to like pull some type of card on you that I'm extremely smart. But we got pattern recognition down. It's the one thing that like people from the real world get. Like people from the real, you want to know why conspiracy theorists are like, why they're so popular among normies, among us, like the normal people, like sit there and talk at diners and like gas stations, is because like we're good at pattern recognition. We can actually see this again and again. It's a rerun. This is a rerun. It's a rerun. It's a rerun. You know, it's kind of amazing that the Chinese national that voted illegally in this country was also able to be exfiltrated, even though we had confiscated his passport and his visa. They were still able to get him out of the country. The Chinese were able to extract their op. And that's exactly what happened with Fang Fang. Fang Fang fled. But how did Fang Fang know about this? Many people say that it was Eric Swalwell who may well have tipped her off. Oh, baby. Okay, let's talk real fast about what could possibly be, happening here. Who knows what's inside of this FBI file? It's been locked and sealed and, put into the darkest bowels and basement of the FBI. There are a few people who've been briefed on this. Kevin McCarthy is one of them. Now, I'm playing a dangerous game here because I want to bring on Matt Gaetz here in just a moment. And him and Kevin McCarthy don't quite get along. But Kevin McCarthy is from California. Kevin McCarthy was Speaker of the House. And Kevin McCarthy was briefed on Matt Gaetz and what was actually inside of that file. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin McCarthy said something really remarkable. Most people don't remember it. Where he told the press in a fit of pique about what was actually inside that file with Eric Swalwell. Ooh, baby. Let him cook. Here we go.
And if you want to talk about Swalwell, let's talk about Swalwell. Because you have not had the briefing that I had. I had the briefing and Nancy Pelosi had the briefing from the FBI. The FBI never came before this Congress to tell the leadership of this Congress that Eric Swalwell had a problem with a Chinese spy until he served on Intel. So it wasn't just us who were concerned about it. The FBI was concerned about putting a member of Congress on the Intel committee that has the rights to see things that others don't because of his knowledge and relationship with the Chinese spy.
Ladies and gentlemen, things have gotten bad for the Democrat Party. If they are able to kneecap Swalwell here, then you're almost definitely going to get a Republican governor from California. He's going to be amazing. The people who work with Eric Swalwell, who know Eric Swalwell, have been shouting this from the rooftops. You know, Kevin McCarthy there, like, quite furious that Eric Swalwell is serving on the Intel committee when he's been compromised by China, when he may well have actually helped the Chinese spy escape. Is that what they're going to show? Are they going to show treasonous activity? You know, they covered up for the Bidens. I mean, listen, like, was that any worse? That was also equally treasonous activity. Listen to Lauren Boebert. Boy, here we go. Playing the oldies. I love this one, though. Lauren Boebert. Go in, girl. Go.
Policies are so pathetic and have done so poorly that the left has nothing else to do but troll the internet looking for ways to get offended and then try to target members and strip them of their committees. This is a dumb waste of the House's time. But since the Speaker has designated the floor to discuss members' inappropriate actions, shall we? The Jihad Squad member from Minnesota has paid her husband, and not her brother husband, the other one, over $1 million in campaign funds. This member is allowed on the Foreign Affairs Committee while praising terrorists.